And we are going to move on to the NFL right now. We are going to talk about Lamar Jackson. All right, because Lamar Jackson fell 67 spots down the NFL top 100. Okay, and now we are going to debate, is Lamar Jackson still somehow underrated? Believe it or not, yes, despite the MVPs. Is Lamar Jackson today underrated? Lee, have we forgot about who Lamar Jackson is? The mic is yours.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. People don't forget who L. Jack is. He should have had 3 MVPs. That one Josh Allen won certainly should have been his. Politics came into play there. Look,
I agree that Lamar Jackson should have won that award that year.
This notion, I've never liked the NFL Network top 100 because I don't believe in it. I don't believe that the players vote. I don't believe that a majority of them vote. And sometimes I don't even believe that they're making up the list, to be honest with you, because there's no list in the world. There's no list in the world with anybody making the list. I don't care who you get. And we're talking about players that play the game that'll put Lamar Jackson as the 69th best player coming in to this season. Now, if you look at Lamar's last year, it was injury riddled, right? And if you want to coming into the season based off of last year, want to knock him down, he was second last year. If you want to knock him down to 8th, 9th, 12th, hell, I would argue that, but I would still, because it's a new year and he's coming back healthy. Every year that Lamar Jackson has been healthy in the NFL, he's been an MVP candidate. Every year. So if he comes back healthy, there is no reason to think that he won't be an MVP candidate this year. Now, injuries happen. We know that. But, when I look at it, Trevor Lawrence was above Lamar Jackson. Who else was above it? It was interesting. The people, Bo Nix was 59th. Trevor Lawrence.
I agree that Bo Nix should have been ahead of Lamar Jackson for last year.
I mean, this is ridiculous. And so it's disrespectful what it is. I don't think he's underrated. Everybody knows who Lamar Jackson is. Everybody knows that. We also know that last year he was injured. He came back injured, but he wanted to play and try to get his team to the playoffs. But every year he's been healthy, Leo. He's been arguably the best quarterback in the National Football League. So there's no way you can say the best quarterback, arguably in the NFL, if healthy, is going to be the 69th player. I don't care how you slice it. So the people that voted, shame on you. If you were players, shame on you, because all you did was just circle the bubble and then didn't even look at the paperwork. And if somebody else did it, that's an agenda against Lamar Jackson. I like the Ravens. I like what they've done. I think the Ravens and Lamar is going to have a tremendous year this year. And I look for MVP Lamar Jackson once again.
I do think Lamar Jackson, in some ways, is still underrated. And the reason why I say that, you see, first of all, Lamar Jackson is held to a different standard. So he's always going to be judged by what he does in the playoffs. Right? That's the narrative that's going to follow him to the end of his career. Lamar Jackson, what have you done in the playoffs? And look, it's fair to say that Lamar Jackson had a down year last year. I think we could agree on that. Right?
Injury plagued year last year.
But it was a down year.
It was a down year because of injury.
Because of injury. Whether it was the injury that had a factor or not, let's call a spade a spade. He had a down year last year. We can't call him a great year.
Right.
So he had a down year last year. Injury or not, he had a down year last year. And the the NFL Network Top 100 is a list that primarily ranks you based off of the prior year specifically. So, yeah, sure, there was reasonable to think that he would drop. Now, 61, now we're overdoing it there. Now, I do agree in the sense that I do think Bo Nix, because there's a lot of debate about Bo Nix and Lamar Jackson individually. Bo Nix had a better season last year than Lamar Jackson. Bo Nix is not a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson.
Bo Nix didn't really have a better season than Lamar Jackson.
He had a better season. He had 4 quarters. He had 7 game-winning drives in the 4th quarter and 4 fourth quarter comebacks. while the Ravens been blowing leads the last couple of years, and sure we could put it and spread it. Oh, coach John Harbaugh this, John Harbaugh that, defense this, Mark Andrews drop, Derrick Henry fumble. We can do all the picking and choosing, but at the end of the day, you only as good as your record is. The Ravens been blowing leads like thugs in the strip club, blowing money.
That was
all right,
but that was because of the
defense, right? Had multiple fourth quarter comebacks led by Bo Nix. Bo Nix, for the most part in these games, were not good the first half of ball games. I could admit that. But in the fourth quarter, he came through. He had a better overall record. Then Lamar Jackson got further in the playoffs. Obviously, Lamar Jackson didn't make the playoffs. Bo Nix had a better season. But Bo Nix is not a better overall player. I just want to make that clear. Now, this is why I think Lamar Jackson is underrated. I believe his skill set is underrated. A lot of people still look at Lamar Jackson as a track star, as a runner playing quarterback, right? And sure, one could argue his athleticism took a step back last year, but guess what? He's still explosive. His growth as a passer, to me, doesn't get talked about enough because it has improved. Lamar Jackson throws one of the best deep balls in the league. Like, if you watch the film, he is very dangerous as a vertical passer. Literally 13.3 yards per completion led the NFL last season, even in the down year. So clearly he knows how to generate the explosive plays through the air and obviously on the ground. So Lamar Jackson in general is an explosive quarterback in the run game, in the pass game. And Lee, one thing that we don't talk about enough is that under Greg Roman, Lamar Jackson's first 3 years, he had over 100 design quarterback runs. He only had 24 last season. So at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson is reinventing the way how he plays a game of football. And that part, I don't believe that people realize that he's doing. And I think he's underrated in those regards. However, as I stated before, when I started up my take, Lamar Jackson is going to be judged by what he does in the playoffs. When Peyton Manning was 1-5 in his first 6 playoff games, he didn't have to hear about the top 100 because there was no top 100. He didn't have to deal with social media because there was no social media. Lamar Jackson got to deal with those things. So Lamar Jackson got to overcome those demons. So I hope, and I can't say if I believe it or not, but I hope that Lamar Jackson could be the next Peyton Manning, where he can start off with a horrible playoff record, which, you know, is not a good playoff record. I mean, Joe Burrow, for what it's worth, has a better playoff record than Lamar Jackson. Joe Burrow is 5-2 in the playoffs.
Joe Burrow hadn't been to the playoffs in 3 years. Yeah,
but guess what? He's 5-2 in the playoffs. He beat Mahomes in Mahomes' backyard.
That was 5 years ago. He hadn't been to the playoffs. Come on, man.
Obviously, injuries. But guess what? The status at the end of the day, Lee, we're not going to look at those things. We're going to look about what you did in the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. But Joe Burrow hadn't been into the playoffs. You can't. That's the. And
even if you won that Super Bowl against the Rams and didn't make the playoffs after that, we're going to look at the Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, my point being is that I've seen Joe Burrow do it before. Now, he wasn't in the playoffs last year. Guess who wasn't in the playoffs last year either? Lamar Jackson. They both watched from home. But guess what? At least I know that Joe Burrow went in Mahomes' backyard and beat Mahomes. That's something Lamar Jackson has yet to do.
A couple things.
He hasn't even beat Josh Allen.
Couple things. Your Bo Nix comparison. Lamar had a better completion percentage than Bo Nix. And he was rated higher as a quarterback rating than Bo Nix.
Who won the game?
Hold on.
Who won the
Even
game?
in limited play for the entire year. So he didn't have a better year. Lamar had a down year because of injury. Now, Joe Burrow,
and I get it. The completion, that's why I said he's underrated as a passer. Because we don't give him credit as a passer. We give him more the credit as a runner. So that's why I'm making sense here. My point is literally
you are. Lamar Jackson is the highest rated passer in NFL history.
Yeah, he doesn't get credit for that. That's what I'm saying.
Those that know but they don't talk about it enough.
That's why he's underrated, Lee.
I don't think he's underrated. I just think people don't talk about it. But I hear what you're saying. I agree with you on that. I just don't agree with you on the Bo Nix or even the Joe Burrow.
Well, Bo Nix, the reason why I say Bo Nix had a better year is because he won more games. He led more fourth quarter comebacks. To me, those things matter. Yeah, sure, he wasn't great throughout the ball games,
He had a better defense than Lamar. Let's see.
but still, he still had
With
to
the
come back. He still
changes,
had to drive the ball down the field. He did that. He did his job as a quarterback. He did
with the
it. You want to talk
changes
about
that
defense? Lamar Jackson has had great defenses before and
he
didn't win
hadn't had
anything with
great
them. So
defenses in the last 3 years. But I hear what you said. No, I don't disagree with you on what you're saying. I disagree with you on the Bo Nix and even the Joe Burrow comparison. People live on Joe Burrow that Super Bowl.
and
But
Tyrone, what I mean
Joe
is that
Burrow has
Bo Nix
missed.
had a better season last year than Lamar Jackson because of
I
those
think the
fourth quarter
Denver
comebacks.
Broncos had a better
He's not a
season.
better player than Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah,
I
I
like
mean,
that.
of course not, right? That's not even a debate.
I'll say this, Leo. As far as that list goes, I never have put credence into the list. I never have. And Tyrone said you can't count his injuries and not Jackson. Yeah, Jackson was injured last year. He was injured last year. The year before, he threw 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions and threw for almost 4,500 yards.
That's another thing.
Joe
That's why I said
Burrow has been injured each of the last 3 seasons. He hadn't been to and missed the playoffs 3 of the last 4 seasons. So there's no comparison about success between Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow.
there is because at the end
Joe
of the
Burrow
day,
has never.
at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson is judged strictly off of playoffs. Now, obviously,
Joe Burrow is too, and he.
But
so,
we
so
all know their
both
defense.
judged the
Come
same
on,
way.
who's winning anything with that defense? We know that. We know that Joe Burrow has not been in the best situation as far as once upon a time it was the offensive line, then it was the defense. We get all that. But as far as Lamar Jackson won the MVPs. We expect, with all due respect to Joe Burrow, who I believe is top 3, top 4. I'm not going to get any more specific than that because we got our quarterback rankings.
No.
With all due respect to Joe Burrow, we expect more from Lamar Jackson because Lamar Jackson won 2 MVPs. So there's a demand. There's more. How can I say? There's more like, there's more pressure on Lamar Jackson.
I agree with that.
Therefore, there's going to be more criticism.
I think people like to criticize him, but I agree
what
with
more
that.
is expected. Listen, I'm botching that statement. You know what I want to say, Lee. I can't find the words. More is expected, more is required, basically.
Absolutely.
So we expect more from Lamar Jackson. I expect more from Lamar Jackson. I saw you won the MVPs. You got everything you need right now to call yourself a Hall of Famer. We just need the chip.
Well, right now, Lamar Jackson, if he stopped playing football right now, he'd be a Hall of Famer.
That's what I said. He got all the
accolades right now. If he didn't play Hall of Famer, he's going to the Hall
today.
Of Fame.
All we need from him is a chip and lead. Nobody is going to care about Mark Andrews dropping the 2-point conversion.
It's all part of it. It's all part of it.
Nobody's going to care that they missed the field goal at the end of the game last year to win a division and be in the playoffs.
It's all part of it.
It's all because guess what? When we read in your resume, all that's going to sound like is excuses. Oh, Mark Andrews dropped the ball. Oh, they missed the field goal. Oh, Lamar Jackson got hurt. No, we're not going to do that, Lou.
Hey, he's on the same trajectory as Peyton Manning. As far as when he won his Super Bowl.
He is.
So Lamar got plenty of time.
Lamar Jackson, the time is now. The time is now.
Jackson has plenty of time. I think the Ravens defense is vastly improved. Trey Hendrickson, other people that they drafted. And I think, and also I like the fact that they changed the offense to be more 3 wide receiver sets, more wide open. And I think Lamar is going to torch the league, and I'm looking for an MVP caliber season. And when we do get to our quarterback rankings, Leo, I look forward to those. By the way, I
look forward to that too.
I agree with you when you say I think he's somewhat underrated. I don't personally. Let me say it like this: I hear what you're saying. I don't agree with it because people know.
Well, he's underrated as a passer. Would you agree with that?
I think people don't give him his just due. I don't think he's underrated. I just think they don't give him his just due.
And that's the same thing.
Of the top 5 perfect passer rating games in NFL history, Lamar got 3 of
them. Look, in here, Lamar Jackson, I do agree when healthy, is one of your best quarterbacks in football. obviously, when healthy is when healthy. It's self-explanatory like that. So hopefully he can have a healthy season and he can
Yep.
go ball out. And that's just where we leave it. But obviously, it's gonna determine. We're gonna come back and look at Lamar Jackson and what he done in the playoffs, and hopefully he can get into the playoffs this year and show that he can go against the other great quarterbacks and actually win. He did have the 2 turnovers in the playoff game against Buffalo. He brought the guys back. Obviously, Mark Andrews dropped the ball. Lamar Jackson got to be healthy, and if he's healthy, he's one of the best quarterbacks in football. And we'll leave it like that.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say, when people talk about quarterbacks in the NFL and they talk about Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, people still want to put them. We're going to get to our quarterback ranking, so I'm just going to throw this out there as food for thought for the audience. The last time we saw Josh Allen play, how did he play, Leo?
He lost in the playoff game.
Okay, he had four. He had 4 turnovers.
Yeah, he lost in the playoff game.
Let's not say he lost. He had 4 turnovers, but we never hear that. But we always hear the 2 turnovers.
This is another appetizer, I would say, for those quarterback rankings, especially when we get to our top 5. I don't think there's much separation with the top guys in the league. I don't think there's a quarterback here, whether that be Lamar, Josh, Burrow, even Mahomes, that took the bull by the horns as of today. That's like, yo, you're the clear best quarterback in football. I think
I agree with that.
The debater that I am, I can make a case for a lot of those guys.
Well, I'll say this, and I agree with you on that. The pecking order is what it is, because the only one, and with Mahomes coming off the injury, that takes him out of it. I think he's going to have a lot of rehab and getting back to the Mahomes that we know. So when you look at Allen and Jackson and Burrow, they all have to prove that they can get to the mountaintop and win it. And it's going to be very interesting. Also, when you throw a Drake May in there with what he's done, and it's going to be very interesting to see if these guys can get there. So I look forward to our rankings.
Most definitely.
Sports, politics, conspiracy theories. We are here to give you our unique perspectives on things happening in the world. It's the one and only, The Real Lil on The Real Lil Show.
Anyway, we are going to move on to topic number 2. That was an explosive topic number 1. And it's time to move on. I want to talk about the MLB. And we don't really talk about the MLB on this show, but I do talk about very controversial topics on this show. And we have a controversial topic for you guys. Now, there's a lot of talk about the MLB moving towards a salary cap. We'll see how much steam that has behind it. If it eventually happened, maybe it's just talk. Who knows? But I do want to talk about this topic, Lee, and I want to get your thoughts. Should the MLB move towards a salary cap? The mic is yours.
Yeah. I want to say it emphatically. I'm going to say this. Major League Baseball will never, and I mean never, have a hard salary cap. Never. The players will never give up their right, because it's way too much money being made by the players all the way down, and even the pool for signing bonuses for people coming out of it's too much money. And the players have shown over the years that they would sit out an entire season before they ever give up their right for free market value. So it will never be a salary cap in Major League Baseball. That's a hard stop. No, never. And the owners know that. Now, they're going to keep saying that because now it's a bargaining tool, because they want to get some other things. They want to move away from giving all these signing bonuses to players. They want to lower the signing bonuses for people coming out of the minor leagues. They want to limit some of these things, but they're just floating out this hard cap stuff. That'll never happen in Major League Baseball. And look, for me, Major League Baseball has always been the model as far as athletes making money, Leo. And so I commend them on never giving that up, because if you ever give it up, Leo, you'll never get it back. And so baseball players are not going to do that. There's not one president of the MLBPA that will ever do it. That's a non-starter, and they'd be willing to sit out all season before they give that up.
Yeah, Lee, I think you got it wrong. As far as relinquishing power, I'm going to explain why I believe that to be true. Now, I could agree to a certain extent that I don't think the the MLBPA would do something like that, because I do believe that in their minds, they believe that it is relinquishing power, when in all actuality, if you do your homework and the benefits and analyze the benefits of a salary cap, you will realize it actually helps the league in general. Both parties win. But if you want to just look at it from one side and not both, then, obviously you will be misguided, like my guy Jalen Rose. But anyway, I would say this. You have a bunch of people, and I'm going to be nice here, I'm just calling people, who think that the term salary cap, when it's brought up, is meant to take away and extract more money away from the players' pockets. Right? You know the cliche. These players get to play a child's game for millions of dollars. And people think that when you bring up the salary cap, it's to restore order. It's a way to keep money out of the players' pockets. It's like the NCAA. A lot of people think that with the laws that they pass now, maybe once upon a time, obviously, they did stole money from college athletes. Obviously, they wanted to taste that pie. But a lot of people think that it's all about extracting money. No, it's about restoring order. It's about making the league profitable and everybody else eating because the league is profitable. You see, Lee, there's so many benefits when it comes to a salary cap. And we can start off with here. Sure, Lee, you are going to get your first billionaire presently constructed in the MLB. Right? If the MLB stays where it's at, I do believe you're going to get your first billionaire contract, right? Because I think LeBron James may be close to being a billionaire if he's not already, but I'm talking about signing $1 billion contract. You're going to probably get that in the MLB first because of the salary cap not being in existence. And that's fair enough, right? But guess what? Just like how the world hates the richest people, the 1% in America, because 99% of America is lower class. There's no middle class anymore. The same thing could be said about what would happen if it stays that way. Same thing, because we do know what the players are making on average when you talk about the middle class players in the MLB. Now, Lee, right now, 60 to 65% of all MLB players make the league minimum. The minimum salary is $780,000. All right. That's because they don't have a salary cap. If you have a salary cap, Lee, guess what? The team revenue increases. If the team revenue increases, guess what? The player's salary increases because money is injected into the system. So again, sure, we can look at the top guys, and that's what we do. We love to eye the top guy pockets and see who gets the most money and whatnot. But at the end of the day, that's 1 to 2 to 3 people out of how many people in your sport. So again, we got to look at the little guy here. We got to look at the middle guy here. Obviously, a salary cap helps them financially. That's the financial positive impact of a salary cap. I didn't even get into the other, positive parts about the salary cap when it comes to actually helping the sport in general, creating parity that the NFL has that everybody else is trying to copy, including Adam Silver, who came out months ago and said he wants the NBA to be like the NFL, more like the NFL, and be more competitive. And the only reason why it's not is because they had a soft salary cap and they was letting players do what the hell they wanted to do. Again, it's not about relinquishing power. It's about making sure that players don't, in the NBA, go team up with each other, make a bad product where the Warriors have KD and we already know who winning the championship before it happens, right? This is why you do stuff like that. And then, Lee, I'm going to end here on my first lap and give you the mic. I just want to make this point. You get guys like Jalen Rose, who caps about the cap, making it seem like it was race orchestrated in black-dominated sports. But if Jalen Rose did his homework, which is very easy to do, just go on Google, look it up, 5 minutes, boom, the history is there. In 1994, they was trying to do the salary cap in the MLB. That's when they first brought it up in 1994. The players actually went on a strike over the issue and literally forfeited the entire 1994 postseason and the World Series, and it was canceled. And then a U.S. district judge had to issue an injunction blocking team owners from implementing salary arbitration. So again, and MLB is primarily dominated not by African Americans like Jalen Rose, who want you to believe so. So again, all this race baiting and we trying to extract money from players' pockets, those are just emotional takes that makes no sense when you talk about business. And Lee, I'm always a business guy. At the end of the day, sports is a business. And for me, to me, business thrives better in major leagues like this when you have a salary cap. The mic is yours.
Yeah, I don't think, and we talked about the Jalen Rose comments. I do think he had some valid points about the revenue producing sports and in college. And I think where we got off track, we started bridging college and pro. I think he was more.
No, he literally
some of his words were meant where it looked like it was focusing on professional sports, but he was referencing a lot of college sports, and I do agree with that. But let me get back on MLB. You're right. They struck Major League Baseball has strikes 3 times as far as they missed the whole season once in the World Series, but they've had major strikes that have lasted. They'll never, Leo, give up that. Players, the minimum salary is low, but then they go into arbitration in 3 to 4 years, and then they hit that second tier. That's when they start making these astronomical salaries, which no one's going to give that up. You made a comment about basketball wanting to be like football in parity. That's why they created the second apron, so that teams could not remain these super teams, and they wanted more parity. That's why you've had a different champion every year for the last 8 years. So 100%. It is going towards parity. But Major League Baseball and the Players Association, they're never going to give that up, because look, a salary cap is great for if you want to move the needle on certain things. Your health care is one, if you needed a higher portion of revenue sharing, which would increase the bottom half, making a little bit money, but you risk losing the great players of the game, the Aaron Judges of the game. They're going to be losing out because you're going to limit their ceiling as far as how much they can make. That'll never happen, Leo.
And that's the part. That's the part of it, Lee. We don't care about the Aaron Judges.
It's never going to happen.
We don't care about the Aaron Judges here. That the league, at the end of the day, Aaron Judge is a guy in a league. You know what I'm saying? With a bunch of players.
Absolutely. A league that's very healthy. A league that is making money hands over foot. That
think about
players are signing.
I understand the MLB. It's not like the NFL. In the sense that the NFL is a dangerous sport, CTE, obviously, injuries, and obviously the salary cap works great in the NFL because those guys, those minimum guys, those, bench guys, they get more money because of a salary cap. I mean, you see a franchise tag, everybody's like, oh my God, the franchise tag.
They don't get more money because of the salary cap.
The franchise tag be right at the top. You'll be seeing $45 million franchise tags. So at the end of the day, it goes up every year. So at the end of the day,
football is the one sport that you would want guaranteed contracts and free enterprise because of the nature of it. And if any sport deserves to have unlimited resources and not a salary cap, that's football. Baseball, they don't. It's not as dangerous, but they play 100.
I seen somebody lose a testicle today.
They play 100.
Listen, you saw that video? That dude that lost his testicle today?
I didn't see that, but they play 162 games.
He ruptured his testicle. Let's think about
the revenue that's generated from playing 100. Not only the national TV broadcast, but regional broadcast, regional radio. Major League Baseball is healthy, and they'll never give up the salary. They'll never, ever commit a hard salary. That's never going to happen.
And I wouldn't encourage you to watch that video. That dude, he got hit in the nuts, ruptured his testicle.
It happens. I played baseball. I've been hit in the arm,
it's not as dangerous.
On the back. I've been hit with a baseball. It happens, man.
It hurts. I got hit with a baseball too.
It
and my
happened.
back still hurts because of it all these years later.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Little
I'll
League
just end
baseball.
my last thing is baseball is healthy. It's thriving. It is a sport that, you know, you're right. I would love to see more African Americans get back into baseball because you can have a lucrative long career playing baseball. Now, it's hard to hit that little white ball.
I don't know.
It's hard.
Look,
And but baseball is in a very good spot right now.
Lee,
They're never going to give them a
I'm not the biggest baseball guy. I don't watch a lot of baseball. But when I do see highlights, because they do come on TV a lot, top 10, all that, I be looking at these empty stadiums with these low market teams that barely get back a summer school camp.
You're going to have empty stadiums because they play 162 games. But think about
and imagine if you are a team that hasn't won anything and have no shot to win anything. I mean, the last big market team, or excuse me, small market team to win in the MLB, win a World Series, I believe was the Rays in 2015, if my encyclopedia in my head serves me correct.
It doesn't matter though, Lil, because they have revenue sharing, and those small market teams don't look at the stands. You're right. There are some empty stands. You play 162 games, or you play 81 games at home. But remember this, you get money from the national broadcast, the revenue sharing, the local broadcast, the local radio broadcast. These teams are making money hands over foot. They're making plenty of revenue. So butts and seats ain't the biggest deal as far as the revenue that's coming in from 162 games a year. So that's when you're looking at finances and revenue, that's what you look at. You don't look at butts and seats because you're going to see some teams that are not performing well. There's not a lot of butts and seats.
Again, Lee, and I'm going to end off this topic, another good topic here, with these two primary factors on why I believe the MLB should have a salary cap. And those two factors alone are middle class increases and parity. That's why you do it.